One unforgettable day, the Earth was on the brink of a radical change. Everyone was talking about the rising tensions between the major powers of the galaxy. Wars between nations on Earth had subsided in recent years, but things took a dramatic turn in space. Several space entities had begun to expand, and humanity faced threats it never expected. The battle was anticipated, but the way humans began to prepare was unlike anything that had ever happened before. After centuries of relative peace, humans started building a fleet with advanced technological capabilities, initially limited to exploration and research missions. However, the external threats forced humanity to take unprecedented steps. Although Earth had reached an advanced technological stage, there was skepticism among military factions about their ability to wage war against the mighty space powers. They believed they couldn't compete with the vast fleets and advanced technology of these entities. But with the rising aggression from these forces, humans began testing new military technologies that had originally been under secret research and development. Military leaders finally decided that the time had come to take a major step forward. They were fed up with the continuous threats and wanted to respond decisively. Their strategy was based on an element of surprise, unconventional and smart technology that had never been used in space warfare before. While the major space powers, led by a coalition of alien species with immense military capabilities, monitored human movements in the solar system, these movements appeared almost undetectable. No one expected humanity to enter into a battle this quickly. The human fleet was directed to a distant location on the outer edge of the galaxy, where there were systems threatening to destroy everything in their path. Humans knew that this would be a pivotal moment. Either they would succeed in curbing the ambitions of these powers, or they would face total annihilation. On the day of the battle, the entire Earth watched in suspense. No one knew exactly what would happen, but all reports indicated that the attack was imminent. In the command room aboard a massive spacecraft, there was an air of suppressed tension. Military officers were watching the screens, bracing for the great event that was about to unfold. However, what happened just moments later was completely unexpected. In a move that was a giant leap forward, humanity invented a completely new style of combat. Instead of relying on massive traditional fleets, they began using a calculated attack tactic, focusing on targeting the enemy's weak points with high precision. Advanced electronic warfare technology was used to disable the enemy's defensive systems, rendering them helpless against the precise attacks. Human spacecraft weren't large or covered in massive guns. They were small and light, designed specifically to carry out precise attacks and evade enemy radars. These ships moved swiftly, executing attacks sequentially from one point to another, crippling defenses invisibly. On the other side, military leaders of the enemy forces received terrifying reports. Their forces were suffering devastating attacks they never anticipated. The human ships had disabled their defense systems in moments, and then the strikes came relentlessly, targeting command centers, communication towers, and transmission stations. What made matters worse was that humans didn't just destroy the systems. They began targeting military bases with concentrated fire, leading to the complete collapse of military infrastructure. This wasn't the traditional kind of attack that the space powers had expected. It was a psychological war. Humanity was attacking with intelligence and strategy, outsmarting them with cutting-edge technology and rapid tactical maneuvers. No one imagined that humans, once considered a weak force compared to the major space powers, would radically change the rules of the game. The upcoming wars in space would be written differently, and the traditional concept of military power began to collapse. As time passed, the effects of humanity's attacks began to show more clearly. The Space Coalition forces were suffering total collapse, and command and control networks were deteriorating severely. Despite the enemy's numerical superiority, humans were moving with speed and agility, fully aware of the strengths and weaknesses of the forces they were attacking. In the command room, everyone was watching attentively, with many questions still unanswered. Would humanity complete this remarkable victory? Would the enemy retreat? And would this human superiority be sustainable? The questions were piling up, but the answer was clear with each passing moment. Humanity had won, not with brute force, but with intelligence and strategic planning no one had anticipated. After the Great Battle, the galaxy began to reorder itself. The war had ended, but its consequences were profound. What had started as an existential threat to humanity had turned into a turning point in the galactic war. Humans had achieved a stunning victory against an enemy superior in number and equipment. The war technology they used became a model studied in military academies on how to combine artificial intelligence with military tactics to achieve victory. But more importantly, humanity didn't just win one battle. They had overturned the balance of power in the galaxy and became a force to be reckoned with. This marked the beginning of a new era, where wars were no longer measured by blind military power, but by intelligence and strategy. Everyone learned a hard lesson. Never underestimate humans, for they had become an integral part of the galactic power equation. After the Great Battle, humanity began to rebuild what the war had destroyed, not only on Earth but across the galaxy. There was a dire need for cooperation between different human factions to invest the tremendous victory in creating a new world. It took a long time, but hope filled their hearts. The galaxy had changed, and the signs of a new era were beginning to emerge on the horizon. Humans set out a comprehensive plan to rebuild infrastructure on Earth first, and then extend to space. It wasn't just about restoring what had been lost, but rethinking their technological and military strategies and integrating them with new principles of cooperation and diplomacy. One direct result of the victory was humanity's transformation into an influential diplomatic power in the galaxy. After proving their military strength in battle, they gained a new political standing among the alien entities. They began forming strategic alliances with some of the species that had also been threatened by the same powers they had defeated. These alliances helped stabilize the region and open new avenues for innovation and expansion. But even with this victory, there was a constant unease among human leaders. Would these space powers have learned from their defeat, or would they return stronger and more vicious? These questions echoed in the minds of many, as some in the galaxy began to question humanity's ability to maintain this new balance. While humans had overcome their enemies in the last battle, the galaxy was full of secrets, and many powers that hadn't yet entered the war were still out there. Amidst these transformations, strong signs began to emerge of other military powers in the far reaches of the galaxy, preparing to make their presence felt. While humans aspired to use new technologies to maintain peace, many military scientists began warning about the growing external threats. As the years passed, humanity gained complete control over space technologies. What was once a distant dream became a bright reality. They began exploring new planetary systems, establishing human colonies on distant planets. Rapid development in artificial intelligence brought a new dimension to military operations, integrating AI into every aspect of daily life. But, as with all major transformations, it wasn't without conflicts. As humanity's power in the galaxy grew, some alien species who saw them as a new competitor began to voice objections and doubts about their intentions. Some groups of aliens who did not wish to share power with humanity believed that humans were still unready to maintain peace in the galaxy. While the human empire grew, a new danger loomed on the horizon. Some space powers, which had disappeared or withdrawn from the Great Battle, began forming secret alliances and amassing their forces, preparing to face humanity once more. As humanity regained its strength, many military leaders and scientists on Earth began preparing for what might come in the future. The victory in the war didn't mean the end of threats, but rather the beginning of a new era of challenges. Military leaders had a new strategy aimed at intensifying investments in research and development. They began designing weapons and spacecraft far beyond anything previously known and training new armies of humans and advanced robots capable of handling the worst space threats. Hope rekindled in the galaxy as new technologies emerged that could help correct the course. Unconventional energy-based weapons, smart defense systems, and improvements in space exploration technologies provided humanity with unprecedented opportunities for innovation. Amidst these preparations and developments, humans began to witness a kind of evolution. Humans were no longer just living in space or waging wars. They had become part of the very fabric of the universe, interacting with other alien species to build a shared future. In this new space that humanity was beginning to shape, there was a clear vision for the future of the galaxy. Maintaining power is not an end in itself, but ensuring coexistence and the exchange of knowledge and innovation. After decades of struggle and challenge, humanity was no longer just a small species in the galaxy. They had become a central force of power and wisdom in the universe. They had achieved balance between technology and cooperation, between military power and diplomacy, and had become a model for all the alien entities living in the galaxy. The future was bright and full of challenges, but now humanity knew that every step along the way could be the key to building a better, more balanced world for all civilizations. But, as with all great stories, the question remains, will humanity continue to hold on to this victory? Or is there a greater threat on the way? What does the future hold for the galaxy?